You never expect the knife to come from inside the family circle until it's already twisting. I sat there under the soft glow of the crystal chandelier in our Oakwood Manor dining room, staring at the single white plate in front of me. Just a sad little pile of undressed romaine leaves, wilted at the edges. No croutons. No cherry tomatoes. Not even a drizzle of olive oil. Everyone else had perfectly seared filet mignon, roasted asparagus glistening with butter, and full glasses of Cabernet poured from the decanter. No fork. No knife. No water goblet at my setting. Serena glided around the table in her tailored silk blouse, smiling that polished smile that never quite reached her eyes. "This is our celebration of new beginnings here in Oakwood Manor," she announced, her voice honey-sweet. "The Langdon family finally claiming our place among the best in Illinois." Langdon. Not Reynolds. My mother's name, Evelyn Reynolds, was the one printed on every deed, mortgage, and HOA filing for this $3.4 million estate. The subtle erasure landed like a slap. Victor, my stepfather, presided at the head like he owned the place. Silver hair perfectly combed, radiating satisfaction. Mom sat beside him, still glowing in the third year of their marriage, oblivious or choosing to be. Serena's two grown kids from her prior divorce, Tyler and Brooke, were already digging into their steaks, the meat so tender it sliced like butter. Brooke had just turned 22. But the wine flowed freely into her glass anyway. Serena placed my plate down with a deliberate clink. Conversation swirled around me, Victor bragging about his latest golf course deal, Serena boasting about her new role on the country club events committee, Tyler mentioning his promotion at the asset management firm I had quietly coached him through. I felt heat crawling up my neck. "Serena," I said, keeping my tone even, "there seems to be a mistake with my place setting." She paused, bottle hovering, lips curving. "No mistake at all, Nicole. We decided to reserve the full experience for actual family, those who truly belong and contribute to our standing here." The words hung heavy. Mom's fingers brushed her necklace, the one Dad gave her on their 20th anniversary. But she stayed silent. Victor kept cutting his steak with precise strokes. I swallowed hard. "And how exactly does someone qualify as actual family in your book?" Serena leaned in. "Those who carry the right name. Those who understand hierarchy. You're 35. Still single. Living off your mother's success. Maybe it's time for alternative arrangements." The chandelier light seemed to dim as rage narrowed my vision. 8 years since Dad's fatal crash on the interstate. 8 years of watching Mom claw her way out of grief. And now this woman, Victor's former partner turned permanent houseguest after her divorce 6 months ago, was marking territory. I pushed my chair back, marble floor scraping. "You're right. I should know my place." I lifted the plate, examining the leaves like a balance sheet. The place of someone whose mother actually owns this house, whose name is nowhere on any deed or HOA registry. Unlike some people here. Silence fell thick. Serena's face flushed under her contour. Victor's knife froze. Tyler and Brooke looked up from their phones. In that moment, everything shifted. The war had begun. The drive back to my condo that night blurred under streetlights. Memories flooded in. Dad, the brilliant structural engineer who designed half the skyline buildings downtown Chicago, gone in an instant when a truck ran a red light. Mom had been shattered. I moved home for 2 years, handling insurance, estates, grief. The old Lincoln Park home he designed became our sanctuary and prison. Then Victor appeared at grief counseling. Charming widower. Pharmaceutical sales exec with a silver fox look and perfect suits. He studied her vulnerabilities like market data, pushing gently then retreating. Within months they dated. Within a year, married modestly because Mom felt it too soon for extravagance. Victor agreed too quickly, jaw tightening at the small reception. When Mom sold the Lincoln Park house last year to escape memories, Victor pushed hard for Oakwood Manor, a fresh start befitting our status. The $3.4 million came entirely from Mom's inheritance and Dad's assets. Victor contributed connections and negotiation skills, but $0. Closing documents listed only Evelyn Reynolds. He smiled supportively, but stared at the deed with a cheek twitch I recognized as suppressed anger. Serena entered soon after as temporary housing post-divorce. Temporary became permanent. She redecorated, hosted parties, signed as Lady of the House. They both introduced Victor as homeowner at HOA events. I tried warning Mom. He just wants to feel like the man of the house, she'd say. His generation struggles with living in a wife's property. Be understanding. That's what she called the unauthorized marble fountain. $45,000 outdoor kitchen. Pergola, all improvements, without her full input. Victor never checked HOA rules. Oakwood Manor had ironclad architectural covenants. Only the legal owner could approve exterior changes. He was about to learn the hard way. 3 weeks after dinner, the first violation notice arrived. I visited Mom for coffee when I heard power tools screaming in the backyard. Victor's adding a gazebo, she said casually. Perfect for entertaining. I stepped outside. The foundation was already poured for a large structure wrapping a protected heritage maple. Built-in benches. Planters for Serena's orchids. No permit posted. Victor, I called. He turned with his practiced smile. Nicole. Shouldn't you be closing deals somewhere? Nice gazebo. Did the HOA approve? His smile flickered. They don't dictate my property. Mom's property, I corrected. Section 5.2 of Covenants requires written architectural review board approval for any exterior modification. He stepped closer. Voice low. I'm increasing value. Your mother loves it. Mind your business. Mom's security is my business. Without approval. Fines up to $60,000 plus daily penalties. He laughed coldly. She's happy with how I handle things. Maybe if you focused on finding a partner instead of interfering. The dismissal was classic. I photographed everything. Violations piled. No permit. No neighbor notice. Exceeded size limits. Tree ordinance breach. I documented meticulously. Confronting Mom first. He's just beautifying, she insisted in her study. Why assume the worst? I explained fines. Daily penalties. Victor said the HOA adores him. He's on the social committee. Social committee doesn't control architecture. Please ask him to file paperwork. Mom sighed. Looking exhausted at 63. Victor needs to feel like the man. If I question him, he'll leave? What does that say about him? Her face hardened. It says my daughter doesn't trust my choices. Your father never would have. Regret hit instantly as tears welled. 2 days later, the first warning letter came. Victor tore it up at dinner. Certified second letter followed. By the third threatening action, chaos reigned. This is your doing, Serena hissed at me. Poisoning the HOA. I hadn't spoken to them. The noise complaints came from neighbor Mrs. Caldwell after disrupting her garden club. Victor stood abruptly. Enough. I'll handle this my way. The threat lingered. Serena smirked. Mom looked lost. Victor had declared war. Unaware I'd been preparing since he entered our lives. The gazebo was just the opening salvo. The neighborhood monthly wine and cheese social at the community center overlooking the golf course was supposed to show family unity. Mom had pleaded. Unity felt like a joke. The room hummed with quiet wealth, pearl strands. Golf anecdotes over fine wine. Subtle boasts about second homes. Victor held court by the fireplace. Serena draped on his arm. Spinning tales of his business wins. Success means taking control. I overheard. In my house. I decide. My house. The audacity tightened my grip on the glass. Mrs. Caldwell caught my eye and nodded sympathetically. She knew the real story. Several others did too. Thanks to public records I'd made accessible at the HOA office. I pretended to study the bulletin board announcements about the holiday decorating contest when Victor cornered me. Enjoying yourself? His breath carried whiskey. Appetizers are nice. Drop the act. Nicole. I know you've been spreading lies to the board. I don't need to spread anything. Your violations speak for themselves. His face reddened. You think you're clever? Daddy's girl guarding her inheritance. This isn't about inheritance. It's protecting my mother from someone who disrespects her and the law. Your mother is happy with me. You're the bitter, jealous daughter who can't handle her moving on. The room quieted. Heads turned subtly. Jeffrey Morrison, HOA president and retired attorney, appeared. Everything all right? Victor recovered his smile. Family discussion. Actually, I said, seizing the moment. Mr. Morrison, could you clarify ownership and violations? If someone not on the deed makes unauthorized changes, who's legally responsible? Jeffrey's eyes sharpened. The deed holder. Of course. That's why requests must come from them. He looked at Victor. We've had recent issues, haven't we, Mr. Langdon? Silence gripped the room. Victor straightened his tie. A misunderstanding being resolved. I showed Jeffrey photos of ongoing construction despite notices. Gasp spread. HOA violations equaled social suicide in Oakwood Manor. Victor started forward, angrily. But Serena restrained him. His mask cracked. Jeffrey's voice iced, continuing despite cease and desist. Family matter, Victor snarled. No. HOA matter. If you're not the owner, Jeffrey turned to me. Your mother, Evelyn Reynolds, is the deed holder? Yes. She alone authorizes decisions. He pulled his phone. Emergency board meeting needed. This is serious. Victor pointed at me, shaking. You've made the biggest mistake. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Mom appeared. Pale. What's happening? Serena said coldly. Your daughter is humiliating us. No. I met Mom's eyes. I'm protecting you. Victor grabbed Serena's arm. We're leaving. As they stormed out, whispers erupted. Mom stood torn, then walked away without a word, leaving me amid strangers who now knew our family's fracture. But Victor had threatened publicly, lost control before the president and witnesses. He'd exposed his lack of standing. In my consulting world, we say never threaten someone who keeps superior records. Whispers began 3 days later. Neighbors averted eyes at mailboxes. Then direct hits. Nicole. Running an illegal short-term rental from the guest house. Margaret asked at the store. Feigned concern. Victor mentioned it at the club, worried about values. By week's end, 5 neighbors approached with escalating absurd claims, unauthorized business meetings, subletting parking. Perception ruled Oakwood. An anonymous complaint hit the HOA alleging residential zoning violation via home-based consulting. I knew Victor's work. That evening, property manager Tom photographed the guest house. Following up on a report, he said uncomfortably, anonymous complaints protected. What evidence? Photos of cars during business hours. Witnesses, seeing strangers. I work from home occasionally. Clients visit maybe monthly for signings. Main office elsewhere. Tom noted it. We'll verify. Meanwhile, Serena planted doubts at the club about my unstable jealousy. Tyler posted vaguely on community social about rule breakers. Victor's bold move, approaching board member Bradley Reeves, who held a grudge against Dad's old firm. Housekeeper Carmen, who cleaned both homes. Overheard Victor offering support for Bradley's HOA president bid in exchange for handling the Nicole problem. Thick envelope. Campaign expenses. Bribery. I gathered counter-evidence over 3 days. Laptop security footage showing actual work-from-home dates. Far fewer. Uber receipts proving office presence during alleged meetings. Client emails timestamped at corporate address. Best find. Serena's Instagram stories and posts showed the guest house empty. Dark. No cars during claimed busy periods. Plus. Screenshots from a private neighborhood group chat, Oakwood influencers, where Victor openly plotted. Nicole issue solved soon. Board issuing violations. Once out. Control simplifies. Reeves on board. Hubris in writing. Tyler had added me months earlier for Mom's party planning. I'd muted it until now. Emergency board meeting Thursday night. Victor arrived confident. Serena and Bradley flanking. He presented photos. Timelines. Witness statements from golf buddies. Clear evidence of illegal business. Traffic issues. Zoning breaches. Recommend fines and cease desist. Jeffrey looked troubled. Board members nodded. MS. Reynolds. Your response. I stood. Folder ready. First. Question for Mr. Langdon. You refer to yourself as owner. Documentation? His eye twitched. My wife owns it. I represent her. Is she here? Indisposed. So, allegations on property you don't own, without owner present. Contradicted by your own posts. Room tensed. Victor cracked. Furthermore, evidence Mr. Langdon attempted to bribe Mr. Reeves. Bradley jumped up. Slander. I produced Carmen's affidavit and chat screenshots. Room erupted. Jeffrey gabbled for order. Victor shouted entrapment. But damage irreversible. Pillar of community exposed as fraud. His planned revenge became self-destruction. Victor wouldn't quit. Men like him regrouped. I prepared. Digitized every document, deeds, HOA filings, emails in triple backups. County recorder visit for certified copies. Clerk Dolores recognized me. Your stepdad was here yesterday asking about adding himself to the deed. Needed owner's notarized signature. Stormed out muttering about fixing things. Blood chilled. Deed tampering plans signaled escalation. Private investigator Michael Torres delivered findings. Victor's pharma sales career ended 5 years prior, not retirement, but termination for expense fraud. Lived off savings and women's generosity. 2 prior marriages ended over financial irregularities. Damning pattern. HOA board member Jennifer Marsh. Previously neutral. Met me for coffee. After the meeting. You should know, Victor showed me a power of attorney form with your mother's signature. Asked if it authorized modifications without her direct involvement. Signature looked shaky. Off from her usual. Forgery attempt confirmed. Family lawyer Robert Steinberg verified. Pressure points wrong. Formations inconsistent. Criminal forgery. I needed Mom's cooperation. She'd avoided me since the social. Hurt by perceived betrayal. Found her in the garden tending Dad's roses, the only untouched landscaping. Mom, we need to talk. She didn't look up. Nothing to say. Victor tried forging her signature on a power of attorney. She turned, shears in hand. Evidence shown. Investigator report. Document photo. Lawyer analysis. Denial. Recognition. Then anger crossed her face. He said he loved me. Wanted to care for me. He wanted your money. Your property. You were the means. She sank onto the bench. How did I miss it? You wanted love. No shame. But now protect yourself. That afternoon at Robert's office. Mom signed affidavit denying authorization. Reports filed with HOA and police. Cease and desist prepared. Restraining order paperwork started. Avalanche began. Board members reconsidered. Chat messages reviewed by legal team. Bradley resigned quietly. But Victor would fight desperately. I installed new cameras, changed locks at the guest house. Battlefield mine to define. The special HOA meeting packed the community center. Everyone wanted the drama. I arrived early with Mom and Robert. Front row. Portfolio military organized. Mom clutched her purse tightly. Jaw determined. Victor entered with Serena and sharp-suited lawyer James Whitfield. They sat opposite. Victor glaring. Jeffrey called order at 7. Addressing serious allegations at 4847 Maple Grove Lane, including potential crimes. Parties present cases. Whitfield stood. Object to this kangaroo court. My client improved family property. Nothing more. Robert countered calmly. Property isn't his. Jeffrey silenced. I presented first. Projected deed. Solely Evelyn Reynolds. No, Victor. Marriage doesn't grant ownership in Illinois, Robert noted. Next slide. Forged power of attorney. Gasps. 3 experts confirm forgery. Presented to Jennifer Marsh seeking unauthorized decisions. Jennifer confirmed. Showing original. Slides continued. Chat messages. Bribery evidence. False complaints. Pattern undeniable. Mr. Langdon's history. I added. Showing investigator findings prior marriages. Termination for fraud. Objection. Character assassination. Whitfield yelled. Pattern evidence relevant to credibility, Robert replied. Victor pushed forward. Enough. Yes. I improved our home. Took charge like a man does. But this vindictive daughter sabotaged my marriage from day one. Poisoned everyone because she can't accept her mother chose happiness. Mom stood slowly. Room hushed. You gave me lies. Victor. Believed you loved me. But loved only what I provided, my home. Money. Respectability. Victor pleaded. Elaine's sweetheart mom pulled eviction notice. 72 hours to remove yourselves and belongings. Serena shrieked. You can't. Robert. Guests overstayed. Forgery and fraud trigger criminal charges. Police waiting outside. Victor lunged. Security intercepted. This isn't over. You'll pay. Jeffrey. Banned from HOA properties except relocation period. Violation means trespass arrest. Board voted unanimously. All violations dismissed. Originated from non-owner. Forged docs to police. As Victor ranted while escorted out. Serena sobbing by her car. Tyler calling desperately for housing. Mom slipped her hand in mine. Thank you, she whispered. For seeing what I couldn't. For being strong. Room applauded. Neighbors apologized. Jennifer hugged me. But I watched Victor enter the police car. Realizing victory wasn't just defeating him, it was proving Mom's worth fighting for. 3 months later. The house breathed again. The unauthorized gazebo, dismantled, replaced by Mom-designed garden therapeutic reclamation. Dad's roses thrived. She added a fountain with his favorite quote plaque. Integrity is doing right when unseen. Victor faced forgery and fraud trial. Plea deal likely probation plus restitution. But reputation shattered. Serena fled to Arizona with family. Tyler emailed apology. Admitting manipulation blindness. HOA added ownership verification for decisions, informally Nicole's rule. Jeffrey thanked me personally for exposing corruption. Biggest change, Mom. Over coffee one morning, thinking of converting guest house to legal rental, proper permits. HOA approval. Income helpful. But mainly proving I manage my affairs independently. She enrolled in financial classes. Joined support group for relationship fraud survivors. Dated cautiously with background checks.
Met someone, David.
Retired professor. Widowed. Owns his home. Great credit. We laughed genuinely for first time in years. Truth spread. Calls from 2 other women victimized similarly by property control predators, preying on grief. We form support network sharing resources. Legal strategies. Predators more common than admitted. One evening packing evidence files, I found the dinner photo Serena posted pre-explosion, me with pathetic lettuce plate amid feasting others. Instead of deleting, framed it in my office, a reminder smallest indignities spark biggest change. That plate ignited war, exposing criminal. Safeguarding mom's assets. Strengthening family. Mom visited.
Saw it.
Sorry for not standing up that night. Choosing comfort over truth. You were in love, or thought so. Victor, skilled manipulator. Still. Should have seen cruelty toward you. Revealing. I corrected. Showed true selves. I chose belief then. 6 months post-meeting. Family dinner, just real family, cousins from California, Aunt Margaret from Boston, Mom's steadfast friend Linda, Dad's fine china set, proper settings, steak and wine for all. At my place. Alongside Crystal, single lettuce leaf. Mom grinned. Younger, happier. Reminder, no one makes you feel unwelcome at your own family table. Looking around, loved ones who rallied. Realization hit. Victor tried stealing home.
Dignity. Bonds.
Fighting back gained more, strength beyond any con artist. Manipulator believing he could seize generations-built legacy. Oakwood Manor stood proud. Owned clear by woman reclaiming worth. HOA transparent. Somewhere, Victor learned attempting theft costs everything. Justice served not with lettuce, but evidence and determination protecting yours. We survived.
Thrived.
The final reflections lingered longest. In quiet moments, I replayed how one dinner plate exposed deeper rot. Victor's charm masked calculated moves, studying Mom's grief, isolating her emotionally, eroding her confidence subtly while building his narrative as indispensable. Serena amplified it, creating hierarchy excluding outsiders like me, financially independent yet single, labeled clinging. Their HOA's social climbing built false pillars until legal reality crumbled them. Psychologically, Mom's arc mirrored many. Vulnerability post-loss made her receptive to validation, overlooking red flags like financial probing, quick marriage pressure, unauthorized changes framed as care. My role as protector strained our bond temporarily, forcing her confrontation with self-deception. Anger at betrayal eventually yielded empowerment, financial literacy, boundaries, selective trust. Legally, Illinois non-community property state protected premarital assets, strict HOA covenants enforced owner-only authority. Forgery crossed into criminal. Bribery attempt sealed exposure. Public meeting provided witnesses, amplifying consequences beyond family. Police involvement ensured accountability. Though plea avoided jail, reputation loss and restitution sufficed societal penalty. Socially, Oakwood Manor's gossip machine turned, from whispers against me to ostracism of Victor's circle. New verification policies prevented recurrence. Our support network grew, helping others spot patterns, charm masking control, isolation tactics, financial overreach. Personally, the lettuce reminder symbolized resilience. Smallest slight catalyzed systemic defense. Family bonds mended stronger through shared battle. Mom's new relationship cautious, grounded in equality. My consulting career sharpened, lesson in due diligence applied personally. Ultimately, story asks, when family introduces threat disguised as love, does blood or law prevail? Here, determination blending both restored balance. Victor lost control he craved. We gained clarity, agency, unity. House stood testament, built on integrity, defended fiercely. No one erases rightful belonging without consequence. The war taught survival isn't enough. Thriving requires vigilance. Evidence. Courage facing uncomfortable truths at any table.